All right. For the one subscriber special, we're going to be talking about flanderization. Flanderization is something that happens. It's obviously in reference to the Simpson character, Ned Flanders. But it's something that happens, I think, to a lot of other stuff. And in the original reference to flanderization, you see Ned Flanders in the older seasons has more character features and personality. And as time goes on, he becomes less and less fleshed out as a character until the point that you can probably summarize Ned Flanders down to in a sentence. And it's something that I think about because, why would I choose this topic for the one subscriber special? I'll tell you why. It's because I see a lot of people, they go out there, they say, all right, I'm going to do X. And then as the target moves, they change. And that's not bad in itself, but as the target changes and they change a little bit to that moving target, sometimes they fail to realize that they themselves are becoming flanderized. And it's something that you see a lot with certain creators. If you ever look at their content and you go back several years, you might look at their videos, and when they started making videos, they did a lot of stuff. And as time goes on, you realize that they start making one type of video. And at certain points in YouTube history, it's there's a lot of channels that were doing a lot of stuff, and then you're looking at their history, and at some point they did a list video that really took off, and then after that video, they just did list videos for the rest of their stuff. And it's well, I guess it's something that if your goal is to make list videos, yeah, all right, making list videos isn't really that big of a deal. But if you're making list videos just because you know they're going to get views, and that's your only reason for making them, then maybe you got to look at yourself and wonder, are you being flanderized into making these videos? Are you focusing on making a specific type of content to the point that you're no longer doing things that you love because you're chasing views, or you're chasing subscribers, or you're chasing maybe sponsorships or something? And it's something to think about because I see it a lot with people online, where if you look at their videos over time, they become a one-trick pony, not against their one logical decision at a time, I'll say. Because every video you make, you're kind of making the video and you're well, all right, let's see how this one does. And then we'll make, and then as you go on, you're all right, well, it did pretty good. Let me think about what the next video is. So if you're doing them one at a time, or you're doing them, I know some creators, I don't know if they talk about it anymore, but I remember a lot of creators doing, or talking at least in the past, about doing batch videos where, you make 5, 6 videos at a time. You make a batch and then you schedule uploading over a period of time. Or maybe you're having a certain, say you travel to a different city, for example, for a convention or something. You might make several videos there because you're saving money because you're just doing one trip. So it's all right, instead of doing 6 trips for 6 different videos, and then you just make a bunch of different videos on that city, and then you might call those evergreen content. Say it was a big city like New York or LA or something, you could probably do several videos in a city like that, and then you have some evergreen content. So if you miss a week, you put up one of the videos that you already made, so that way you can take a break or have some vacation in the middle of the year without having to come up with a new video. And that's something to think about. But I know it's something that I'm talking, and I'm making this one subscriber special. I appreciate the fact that you followed me, whoever you are. I haven't quite looked at who it is on the my side, but I know that there's probably going to be some way to figure that out eventually. I just haven't quite figured out the YouTube creator stuff yet. I know that the stuff with making the videos or batching videos and stuff's pretty common. One thing I will. Oh shit! What am I saying? I just hit a reset on my brain there. Sorry about that. What I'm saying though with the one subscriber, I haven't really looked into it, but one thing is like, thank you for following me. Appreciate that. I know that I appreciate that you're watching, but I also make these videos really. This one subscriber special in particular is kind of so that way, when well, hopefully at one point maybe I have like 100 subscribers or 200 subscribers, and I can look back and say, all right, this is a reminder to myself, you know, ask myself some questions, like, why am I, or have I accidentally flanderized myself from my original objective? And if I have I flanderized myself in a way that I don't like? I know that there's a lot of videos that I've seen on, not necessarily YouTube in general, but just, creators across different platforms. I know for some platforms, especially like short form platforms, it's real easy because, you got like 30 seconds, 60 seconds to make a video that is something interesting for somebody to watch, but it's something you can cover in, a minute. So it's got to be, you can't go like super in depth into it. And so it's really easy to look at some of those creators and say, oh, at a certain point they saw that X video, took off, so they started doing that. And it's something that I've wondering about myself, just because it's like, man, if I accidentally do that to myself, I'd be a little bit sad. But it's not that I'd be sad because I did it. I'd be more so like, oh man, at some point along this trail, I lost the plot. When I first started uploading videos to this channel, I don't really have like a locked in name. I just kind of put a name in there. And then I kind of put in like stuff that, I was like, all right, it's something enough that I can have a channel. It's like, all right, let me start uploading content, just like making videos. I know they're not going to be great videos, but they're videos that I make because I kind of want to make videos, but then I want to practice making videos. And, some of the best ways to practice making stuff is to practice making it by doing it pretty much, So it's like, all right, let's see, how do I do this or how do I do that? And then, when you do it different times, so far, I've made over 20 videos by now. I know that I've overall made like way more than that, but there's a lot of videos that I don't really feel make the cut that I feel comfortable in putting out, so I don't upload them. But I know that with the making the videos, I'm like, all right, it's something that I do to help practice kind of using the different software features and like practice editing videos. And one thing that it helps you say, all right, here's how I overlay video and here's how I put audio on top of that. And then how do I filter out background noise in a way that kind of preserves the audio well enough that it's listened to, like it's good enough to listen to. Yeah, and I don't think that the videos that I've made up until now are super spectacular for a YouTube creator that I'm like, oh man, that's somebody that does this full time. But I know it's something that I look at and I'm like, all right, you know what, for doing this kind of like on the side is like something to keep me occupied, or just practice playing with video editing and how to, use the different features that I have on, that. And then also, when you upload videos, just like the well, seeing how to upload them, I guess, is kind of like, cause there's a lot of features and things to toggle, and so with each one you upload, you get a little bit better at figuring out which boxes to check, which ones not to check, and stuff. So that's kind of like cool. I know that with the other stuff that I do as I'm doing this, it's like, all right, I'm making a little bit of progress. And I don't know, I feel that a little bit where I'm like, all right, I know when I even go back and look at the videos in the video editor that I'm using, the older videos that I use or I create till now, it's like, all right, there's a little bit of uh sway, I guess, where I'm not stuttering as much. I'm not pausing as long, or at least I'm not editing out as much pauses. I'm not doing as much editing, correcting mistakes that I'm making. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not doing any, but I'm not doing like some of those, the first couple videos, they're really chopped. And some of the videos that I wanted to make where it's like I tried making the videos, like I chop it and that's like chopped to the point that it's not really listenable. And I mean, I try blending it. And one of the things too is I keep on forgetting that for me in particular, but I guess it applies to anybody else. It's easy to find my own mistakes in things, but I know that when I show somebody else, they don't see the mistakes that I see. And I think that that's something where it's like maybe if like in a year or two I look back on this, I'm not gonna see the cuts because you know what, I cut it well enough that if I don't know the exact minute or second that I'm looking at for the timer, I'm not going to know when the cut is. So I'm not going to, like, my brain will just roll over it like a regular viewer. So I don't know, it's just thoughts. I know that, assuming my one subscriber watches this, thank you for subscribing. Anybody else that's watching this later on, thank you for listening. I know, have a great day. Appreciate the work, appreciate the views when I can get them. Thank you. Love you. Bye.